Starting is the hardest part. There is something uniquely intimidating about staring down a pile of unpainted miniatures.
Thanks. Playing a little hooky from work today. Oh my god.
Let's talk about this. And why don't I advance my own Tyranid backlog in the meantime? Hello and welcome! Today we paint and review gargoyles for my Warhammer 40k Tyranid army. I only had 10 models to paint, but to tell you the truth, I wasn't prepared for this amount of work. So I decided I'd share with you my approach for this project, and maybe see if we can learn a thing or two. Small precision before we start. In this hobby, there are no bad decisions. Except maybe...
Oh, sorry, buddy. It took me hours to prep them for painting, so let's talk a little about why I want to play 10 of them in my Tyranid army. They are chaff. In fact, they are great chaff. Currently at 85 points for 10, they're able to move really fast on the table and potentially put 20 OC on an objective. There is one downside.
These units are functionally suboptimal. Marked deficiencies in ballistic and melee proficiencies render them categorically inefficient in combat scenarios. Probability of operational failure, 97.6%. Termination, imminent.
But that's okay, that's why they're here in the first place. Warhammer 40k is a game about making decisions and trading resources. I have bigger monsters to do the heavy work. Let's start by priming everything with black. I'm priming everything except for the transparent rods, of course. And this is where my motivation started to drop a little. After hours of clipping, sanding and assembling, it nearly took me 2 hours to prime these 10 models. Don't know why, but I've done worse. Remember those 15 Necron waves? I had to take my time for this step because having grey plastic show on a finished model is not something that I want. Once dry, I spray Ivory on all the flesh while watching a movie. By the way, some of you shared some thoughts about batch and repetitive painting. In most armies, it's even a mandatory step. Axe Funky says,
To choose a definitive color scheme is my biggest struggle. Can't say how many times I painted and repainted my armies.
yeah, I know what you mean. I think for most people it's hard to stick to the plan. Even with a trusted technique, if you paint your army over a few weeks or months, you are going to learn new stuff. Or it might just be the way you look at your models that changes. I have the same issue with my Necrons. The first ones I painted last year look fine, but I didn't use enamels back then. I've already redone Immaculate, and I think I'll redo my first Doomstalker while trying a new special green product. It's easy for me because I do videos about every model I paint,
so I can't go around and redo everything, that would be boring. So I guess my advice to you is, if you're in that same boat, is just be patient and listen to your heart. I know it might sound cheesy, but it's true. Even if you're sure about your color scheme or technique, at some point you start knowing yourself well enough to know that you will change. So if you want to redo your models, just go ahead and redo them. There is nothing wrong about this, unless you collect a lot of different armies, of course, and do this every time. So for me, from now on, when I see a new effect or technique I want to do, I ask myself if I can do it on my current army while keeping a consistent look, and if I can't, I just keep it for the next army project. Alright, Ivory is done. Let's repaint some spots with black before varnishing. Dude says,
one of my biggest struggles is to establish how I am going to paint them.
That's one of my favorite subjects, planning on how to paint 40k armies. The key here is consistency. If you play the game, you want your army to have a uniform look on the table, but that doesn't have to mean you can't try new stuff along the way. Same as point 1, you will learn new stuff, you will want to tweak things around, and if you find a way to accept that, I guarantee you will have a great time in this hobby. Plus again, you can always start and change your mind later, and it's okay. It's okay because the worst thing you can do is just not starting. Same goes for almost everything in life. Except a few things, of course, like invading Poland or face-fucking your cat. My point being, you will change your mind. And it's part of the hobby. And the sooner you start, the sooner you'll be okay with it. All the footage you've seen so far in this video represents hours and hours of working on these models. And all that so they can die on the first Overwatch. Yep, and that's not the worst I've seen. My last 40k game I played my Necron Starshatter list against Astra Militarum, and let's just say the game didn't last long. Sadly.
Aha!
It's part of the game, spending hours and hours and painting cute tanks just to lose 3 of them in one shooting phase. Alright, time for some enameled chaos dirt, and let's try somewhat glowing eyes and weapons for these little bugs. Let's go.
If this transmission has optimized your efficiency protocols, initiate the sacred gestures, activate the like engagement signal, and subscribe to this data feed to ensure future knowledge bursts are auto-dispensed onto your cogitator. Praise the Omnicia.
For some time, I wasn't able to tell why painting just 10 of them was such a chore. And while writing these lines, I got it. People are able to paint dozens of infantry models at a time. I myself might have to paint, at some point, 30 flayed ones in one go, who knows. But these guys, they suck. Why? They are little flying units, and handling them while painting is...
Maintain a 90-degree throne angle. Brace your flesh limbs to stabilize fine motor servos. Hand grasp miniatures only by reinforced structural points. Must you invite instability, paint transfer, and the Omnisea's disapproval.
Dude, I'm 6'8", my desk is 300 years old. I'm doing my best here. One more thing about what Dude said. Yes, keep it short, keep it simple. 10 at a time is plenty, even 5 is fine. If I had gone for 20 gargoyles at once, there would have been no fun for me. And I have one tip for you. Pick a subject when working in batch like this. For these gargoyles, I was looking forward to two things. Get nice gradients on the wings and manage to get the transparent bases done properly in my own style. Speaking about the bases, let's finish them. I use a wooden case for transport and I magnetize all my models, just the bases. I just glue magnets under the bases and I'm done. But for these guys, no hollow base, so I had to be really smart and come up with a solution. I just bought some pre-made stuff and it was just fine. And yes, I'm going to glue everything together, I don't care, don't want them to crumble on the table. One last thing. Just wanted to share something more personal with you. This is not just a hobby for me. There is something more. There is something more to it than just enjoying the game. Something more than extracting yourself from reality when painting or reading. I'm sure deep down you know what I'm talking about. Let's see what you think about this in the comments. Here is my question. Why do you get yourself through all this trouble? I'll let you think about this and share your thoughts in the comments. I'm sure everyone has its own take on this. It's finally time to assemble these little fuckers. Plastic cement will do fine on parts that were masked during the process. I hope they'll hold during games and transport. Alright, we are done. Let's check it out. The main lesson today is this. Just start. The sense of accomplishment is the best thing, especially after a rough painting session like this. And no, it doesn't have to be perfect, and your models will not stay the same, like engraved in rock, and it's okay. As usual, my friends, if there are Tyranid veterans here, don't hesitate to share some tips on how to best use the gargoyles on the table. As for me, I have some work to do on a really cool Necron Lord proxy. So until next time, happy painting!